Welcome to another episode of the Art Patient. Thank you for tuning in. If you're new to the channel, do go and look at a lot of the other videos, okay? And I hope you enjoy them. So, what's this video going to be about? As you can see, back in the shed, because it's a bit more quiet to talk rather than Father's got TV on, so it's sometimes difficult, and I'm actually not making anything today. I'm just talking about some of the things that I come across on YouTube, and they're just not true. And the way people do search engine optimization on YouTube, I believe that's what it's called. It's all sensationalism. And one of the videos that constantly keeps reoccurring that I totally disagree with, and that's what this video is going to be about, is decalcifying your pineal gland. The pineal gland is in the middle of the brain, okay? It's also the centre of one of the chakras, so it has big spiritual abilities, okay? There are so many people talking about decalcifying your pineal gland on YouTube. I felt I'd address it from my own perspective, okay? Now, first of all, I'd like to tell you, I'll get straight to the point, why you can't decalcify the pineal gland, okay? I am in such a position, right, I've had lots of surgeries, and I have seen my own MRI and my own x-rays, right? If you ask a radiographer who takes x-rays or does MRIs to show you a picture of your pineal gland, they will show you a picture that looks like a bone in the skull. That's because they line up, when they put you in the tube, the MRI tube will do an x-ray or an x-ray. That line up, or a CAT scan, they line up crosshairs through your skull when you're lying down, depending on what they're looking for, if they give you an MRI for a tumour or whatever, right? The reason the pineal gland shows up is because it's got calcite crystals within it. So, which leads me on to the misleading YouTube videos of why you'd want to make your way through a kilogram of borax or some other salt to try and decalcify something that works on calcite crystals within it. The whole idea of the pineal gland is it works on calcite crystals. Those make the cones and mirrors within it. It's known as the third eye. If you don't know, guys, it's known as the third eye. A little search on YouTube will bring you through literally hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of videos of how to decalcify it, and they're so misleading. When I first came out of hospital, guys, and started to try and learn about health and get myself some kind of health together, I thought I was going to decalcify my pineal gland like everybody else, and everybody else who watches these misleading videos, and a light was going to go on, and all of a sudden I'd be illuminated one night in the dark, and I'd find the Christ within me. And guys, I meditate and I'm spiritual, and that has never ever happened, okay? And that ain't going to happen, because like I just said, if you talk to a radiographer, right, and I'm outspoken about pharmaceuticals, as you know, I'm outspoken about the subject. I know the damage some pharmaceuticals do, and vaccines in particular, and I am outspoken. But you've got to know what you're on about. And with all due respect You can't decalcify the pineal. Okay, which leads me on to kale, which is extremely high in magnesium. Broccoli, again, you can see what's happening here. The green, the chlorophyll, the magnesium. Okay, even the chocolates I made last video are off the charts for magnesium. Like I say, right, magnesium, it's magnesium that keeps calcium in solution after it leaves the stomach. Okay, hydrochloric acid, right, initially keeps calcium in solution, but that doesn't last long. Okay, remember I keep saying in the 1930s, the 1940s, the powers that be thought calcium was the most important mineral, and from that day on calcium was put into all the foods to fortify it, because like I say, the more you process kale, the more it immediately loses its electrons, right? The beauty of all this food is, guys, right? The beauty of all this raw food is it contains an electronic charge. That's why juicing and raw foods work so well, and wild foods, okay? Now we're in March, halfway through, so we're in spring. I'm about to start using dandelions because the dandelions are back, and that's great for me because I get free food, okay? Dandelions are, again, massive in magnesium. So once the calcium leaves the stomach, and one of the biggest problems with people today is they're popping Tums and Tagamet and antacids, and in reality you can never have enough hydrochloric acid. You can't have enough. And hydrochloric acid kills bacteria that may be on your food, okay? The good bacteria it talks with. It kills the bad bacteria, like if you've got some heavy metals it'll attack it, okay? If you've got some bacteria like, supposing a cat wet on the kale and it's just come out the garden, the bacteria would, the hydrochloric acid would detoxify the cat piss. You get the idea, right? But it wouldn't kill the bacteria that's living on it, okay? Because like I said, you are more bacteria than you are cells, okay? But I don't want to go off the subject onto bacterias, right? My point is, right, once it leaves digestion, right, you're reliant on magnesium keeping calcium in solution, okay? A prime example of this is when you watch the sports and the FA Cup final in particular. If it's a boring FA Cup final, and it goes into extra time, the players start dropping like flies. That is because calcium brings about muscle contractions just everywhere, right? And magnesium does the opposite. It's a complete muscle relaxant. That's why magnesium plays such a massive part in my diet. I wanted to lower blood pressure, and I wanted my heart, right, to do the least amount of work. It enables me to do what I do, okay? Because the processed foods you eat are so fortified with artificial versions of calcium, you end up with calcium crystals everywhere. Like I say, you'll even find calcium in your water. Now, that brings me on to distilled water. I have been drinking distilled water for many years, and drinking a green smoothie every single day for many years. And guys, if you could pull calcium out of the pineal gland and switch it on, surely I would have done it by this time. Okay? It is utter garbage, and all it is a massive, it's just YouTube and a massive thought pendulum that carries on and on and on and on, and everybody jumps on the bandwagon. And the way search engine optimization works on YouTube is probably the reason there's only 33 of us who watch the videos rather than 33,000. Okay? Some people have thousands of people who are holding on to all this stuff, and they are so wrong. Now, my point is, because somebody's got lots of subscribers, guys, doesn't mean they know what they're on about. Now, if you don't believe me, and don't take everything for granted that I tell you, go check it out, okay? If you don't believe me, go and ask a radiographer about your pineal gland. It shows up in X-rays, MRIs and CAT scans. You cannot decalcify it. It's like me saying I'm going to decalcify my femurs or my bones. You know, why would you want to? You can't. You're as spiritual as you want to be, okay? You haven't got to decalcify your pineal gland to be spiritual and astral travel. It is. I know a guy who astral travelled, and Christ, he drank Coca-Cola all the time. You know, it is so ridiculous. It is just so ridiculous, some of the videos, and they're encouraging you to abuse a product, a salt product or one. I'm not saying borax is bad for you, and I'm not going to discuss the person who's just released the video. I'm just saying, guys, be careful, because just focus, guys, on a good source of magnesium, eating raw foods, and it will clean you out and you'll have no excess calcium deposits. Now, I'm not saying you can't clean the kidneys out and the soft tissue and the arteries around the heart. Of course you can. Of course you'll clean them out. But you can't clean some of that the pineal gland relies on calcite crystals. That's what give it the ability. You're never going to lose that. Thank you for watching. Watch out for more videos, and don't always believe what you hear, guys. Do your own research. Okay, thank you.